Hello there, Koshepen here. Do ignore the pimples on my face since I haven't slept well in the past 3 days since the start of Easter holiday, and I'm feeling like a hot pile of garbage sitting in my mom's basement for the past 5 years because I just can't sleep well on that bed anymore. And that is exactly why I'm making this video, to grab more attention so that I can fulfill my will to live and not kill myself. If you're watching this video, I'll assume that you already know that the Quaver Tournament video uploaded by Beat just a few days earlier today is indeed not an April Fool's joke, and the tournament is actually happening this year. If not, then congratulations, you are an idiot. Now, since I'm commentating on this tournament again this year, as I always do, I do have some inside information about the tournament, and as well as some leaks I can tell you. And that is why I'm able to make this video just in time as the tournament gets announced in the Quaver Discord. Anyways, enough introduction, let's actually talk about the tournament. The tournament will be open for register on the 3rd of April. Depending on the time of this video's upload, the announcement may be already announced in the Quaver Discord server, or we're still waiting for Beat's lazy ass to finally upload that sweet registration form on the announcement tab. All players are allowed to register in the tournament, the only exception being that one friend who decided to use Ribbon Shop on Quaver Phoenix GTX while live streaming on the Quaver Discord server. I know we all have that one friend, or maybe one ex-friend if you're mentally stable. The registration will be opened until the 15th of April, where the qualifying map pools will be announced and live streamed an hour after the closing of the registration. Speaking of qualifiers, there are 3 stages to the tournament: the qualifiers, the elimination Swiss, and single elimination knockout bracket, rather than the 2 stages that the past 2 tournaments had, the qualifiers and the double elimination. Now, I know this may sound very complicated and way too beyond the comprehension level of the average Quaver player, but don't worry, I'm here to explain the brief information of each stage. Let's start with the qualifiers. After the registration phase has ended, the qualifier map pool showcase will be streamed on the Quaver official Twitch channel. The qualifier map pool will be consisting of 8 maps instead of the 4 maps that the previous 2 tournaments had. There will be an SV map, 4 Ryzen maps, 2 LM maps, and 1 hybrid map. The day after the showcase is where the qualifiers officially start, which is the 16th of April. The qualifiers phase will most likely continue for a week, and the players who have registered for the tournament on the server will be assigned a date where they will play the qualifiers. On the date they are assigned, they will enter a multiplayer lobby hosted by a referee, and all the players will have 2 attempts on all the qualifier maps. They may choose to leave after the first attempt if they feel like they have performed well enough on all of them, and the highest score out of the 2 attempts, if they have already done 2 attempts, will be recorded on the spreadsheet or something like that. A week after the start of the tournament comes to the end of the qualifiers. After the qualifier ends comes the very complicated Swiss elimination. Now, this is where stuff start getting a bit, just a tiny bit funky, and may require more than 2 brain cells to understand, which I know is above the average brain cells that most Quaver players have, but you know, I'm sure that you have more than 2 brain cells, right? Before you even start talking about what the hell a Swiss elimination even is, let's talk about what the qualifiers results even do. As mentioned before, the best score of each player's qualifiers play is recorded, and instead of averaging out a ranking like how the past 2 tournaments have been, an ELO score will be given to each player who qualified according to the performance in the qualifiers phase. Yes, a fucking ELO score. The ELO score will be inside the range of 1000 to 2000, and players with the 25% highest ELO score will start off with 2 Swiss points. The players in the middle bracket with 50% of the ELO points. How the fuck am I supposed to explain this? Alright, so like the top 1/4 players in the qualified phase will start off with 2 points, the middle 50% players will start off with 1 point, and the lowest 25% ELO points, And the lowest 25% ELO will start off with 0 Swiss point at the start of the tournament. So that's right, gamers. Qualifiers actually matters this time. The Swiss phase will continue for 6 weeks. In each week's players will play against one another in the 1v1 format against its players with the same Swiss point, meaning that the players starting off with 2 Swiss point will play against another player starting with 2 Swiss point. The player with 1 Swiss point will be playing against another player with 1 Swiss point, and so on and so on. Meaning that the first few rounds of the tournament won't be Muka completely stomping on fucking 4 digits. Instead, that will be delayed until a few rounds later where Muka will be stomping on fucking 2 digits. Hooray my ass! Each round map pool will be consisting of 13 maps with 2 bans available for the 2 players, these maps being 1 SV map, 6 Rise map, 2 Lonald map, and 2 Hybrid map. The SV map cannot be banned, and that is right, you and I have to suffer through 10 hours of learning a bullshit SV map just to play it once and fuck it up due to stress and never play it again in your entire life. Fun. The round is best of 6 or round of 11 if you're a psychopath and prefer that way of saying it. The players who wins the Swiss round will gain 1 Swiss point. The loser will get nothing but a sad pat on the back. If a tie happens, which is a 5-5 score, 0.5 Swiss point will be given to both players. Now what do these Swiss points do, you might ask? To enter the final stage of the tournament, which is the knockout elimination stage, a player must obtain a Swiss point of 5.5 in the Swiss elimination phase. If obtaining 5.5 scores is impossible for a player in the middle of the elimination phase, they are immediately eliminated and kicked out of the tournament. The players who obtain a score of 5.5 or higher in the elimination phase will be immediately advanced into the knockout elimination stage without having to play any more Swiss elimination. This continues until the 6th week of the Swiss elimination has finished. The remaining surviving players will all advance into the final stage if they have more than 5.5 Swiss points, which is a perfect segue to the 3rd stage of the tournament, the knockout elimination phase. After the week 6 of the Swiss elimination ends in June 4th, the 3 weeks of knockout elimination starts. And this is where the real shit begins. This knockout elimination is a single elimination, meaning that if you lose in a match, you are eliminated immediately without the loser bracket catching your ass when you fall off from the tournament. This phase does have a bracket. The seeding of the bracket is decided when players achieved a 5.5 score in the Swiss elimination, and if the players advancing into the knockout elimination at the same round in the Swiss elimination phase, the ELO from the qualifiers is used to decide the seeding position in knockout elimination. The knockout elimination map will consist of 16 maps with again 2 bans from each player, which consists of 1 ISP map, 7 Rise map, 5 Lonald maps, 2 Hybrid map, and 1 tiebreaker. Again, the SV map or the tiebreaker is not bannable by players' bans. And congratulations, if you have made it this far into the video, you have already grasped the basic of the whole Quaver Official Tournament 2023. There are still some bullshit rules like buys and other stuff that will only truly burn out my 5 GB of RAM that my brain has factory installed due to the poor financial decision of my family. So we're just gonna throw that away and hope the hosts do the rest and not fuck it up entirely. Any extra information can be found in the Quaver Discord server and the Quaver Tournament website, which I will post a link in the pinned comment and the description of this video. Do beware that the rules and description on the tournament in the official website is possibly the longest text file you ever read in your entire life, so if you would not like to read 2,000 words of bullshit and for a rhythm game that only 100 players plays on a daily basis, or even less than that because I don't think any players even play this game actively, so yeah, do take notice and beware that your eye might bleed out before you even finish the long text wall. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I will put my newly bought Quaver Chang figure in a jar now. Good luck in the tournament.